A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second episode of our initiative, A Book and a Coffee. Now, this particular initiative is very close to my heart and it brings the beauty of the summary of a book. Now, a lot of people are asking me, Dipender, what's the next book? What's the book today? What has been the book? And I was only able to divulge that information last year. All right, so there was some technical issue over there. I am sorry about it. I have taken care of it. So let's get back to it. And I was saying that there was this question that was going around all week. What is that particular book that you'll be taking up this week? What's the book? What there was so much uh, intriguing emotions from people, and I would like to first give you some insight of what I had been doing all past week and why I have come up with the book that I have come up with. I actually picked up a book. I would not name that book. I actually picked up the book, and halfway through the book, I thought it would not make the impact that I wanted to make through this show. So I then switched on to the next book, the book that I've already read some time back, and I went into the book again. Now, the reason I left the earlier book was that I wanted to bring the best of the information, the best of the inspiration, the best of the motivation to all you lovely people across the world. And in my own heart, I thought that that particular book was not doing that justice. However, luckily enough, I picked up that book that I've brought to you right now, and I am very glad that I am bringing the summary of this book. Now, this book is a load of information, inspiration, and motivation. I tell you, this book has changed my outlook to the concept that it is talking about. It's not that I was not following the concept, it is not that the people around the world are not following this concept. It's a new, refreshed version of the concept that the author has brought to you. All right, so let's quickly dive right into the summary of the book. I will be sharing my screen with all you lovely people. Give me a moment. Okay, here we go. Okay, so people who have joined, give me a hi on the comments. Let me see who all have joined. All right, so this is the book that we'll be talking about today. Okay, right. So a lot of people also ask me why am I doing this, and for the new people who have joined us for the very first time, the reason behind me doing this particular summary or coming ahead with the summary of the books that are bestowed to us by the various authors around the world is that the books have the power to open treasures of personal abilities within a human being. There are a lot of hidden possibilities, there are a lot of hidden abilities inside a person. However, there has to be some digging done to pull out those treasures. And book is the right tool in the world to take care of that particular digging up. Books are the purest form of knowledge and learning. No doubt in my mind that books are the purest form of learning. Uh, as I said in the last episode, that all of the famous books, the scriptures, the religious scriptures, are the purest form of knowledge and learning. And so does it actually become holds good with the books as well. Now these books, when read, it actually gives us shows us a mirror. And when you're looking at the mirror, you get to know some of your basic deficiencies. And when you accept those deficiencies, only then you'll go ahead and work on those deficiencies. So that is why I say that the books are the purest form of knowledge and learning. The biggest reason that I do it is people don't have time enough these days. And because they're not able to find time to read books. And the thing is that they really need to read books is that is my that is my job and my role right now to bring those summaries to you. And it's my personal mission right now to increase the capacities, the personal abilities, not improve but increase. A lot of people already have a lot of personal abilities. People have a lot of personal capacities. But if I am able to bring the hidden treasures of these books to you, it would help you increase your personal abilities. All right, so the book under the limelight today. The book under the limelight today is 5 a.m. Club. Uh, just give me a moment. Also, all right. Now, let's, before we go and delve into the book, let's know about the author. Now, this book is by Robin Sharma, and Robin Sharma is a very renowned author in the entire uh, world, and he's considered to be one of the world's top leadership and personal optimization advisors. He has some amazing clients in his repertoire. He has some famous billionaires, sports personalities, and many. He's working with a lot of Fortune 100 companies. He's also the most famous book that he has written to date is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and I'm sure a lot of people have already read this book, and it is also my endeavor to bring the summary of that book as well. He's also written The Greatness Guide and The Leader Who Has No Title, another very good book on leadership traits. And he has these of some of these books have been translated into 92 languages, making him one of the most broadly accepted and read writers alive today. His books has also topped the bestseller list internationally, and his social media posts reach out to about 600 million people a year. Now, look at the kind of fame that Robin has around the world. So what we will be covering today? So the things that we will be covering today would be the five top learnings that I was able to derive from the book. These top five learnings, again, as I said in the last episode as well, uh, these are something that I have been able to mine out of the book. Uh, these are something that I would like to share with you. However, the idea, the concept is of the author. The glory goes to the author. I do not claim any of the idea to be mine. It probably be maybe a rephrased sentence or a rephrased idea, but I do not take the credit of any of those ideas. Goes the glory goes to the author. Now, before we go into the gist of the book, what I would like to highlight in this entire book about this entire book is that this particular book, though it is inspirational, it's a self-help book, it's a motivating book. However, it is very different from the other books that we might have read, where there are concepts, there are ideas, and those ideas are given in a monologue format. However, in this book, there is a story, and because there is a story, the reading becomes so very easy. you're able to follow the characters, you're able to follow the conflicts of a character, and because it's so beautifully put, you are able to complete this book in a better time, in a faster at a faster rate, because this book has a story. It also gives you the chance to put yourself into the shoes of the character, and when you put yourself into the shoes of the character, you're able to digest and able to accept the ideas in a better manner. And that is why I think that, because this book has a storyline, this book is seemingly easier to read compared to other self-help and motivating books. The concepts may be uh, same as the other books. However, because it's a storyline, it's a wonderful book to read. Now, what is the storyline? There are four main characters. There's a motivational speaker who comes and goes in the story of the book. Then the three main characters is a depressed entrepreneur, a frustrated artist, and a billionaire in disguise. Now, the billionaire invites the entrepreneur and the artist to his luxury retreat house in Mauritius. These three people had met uh, at a conference held by the motivational speaker, and because the billionaire earlier in their first encounter was dressed as a homeless person, the entrepreneur and the artist had a really hard time to accept that he was a billionaire. However, the next day when he asked the entrepreneur and the artist to come and meet him at 5 a.m., there was this intense understanding of the other characters that this really is a billionaire and he will be able to teach him. Uh, at the retreat, the billionaire shares the five learnings that we are going to discuss today in the entire story today. So the first learning, uh, what is the habit that separates you and a billionaire? The people who have not read this book, this is actually for you guys. See, now you would understand why the name of the book is 5 a.m. Club. The biggest habit that separates us and a billionaire is the habit of waking up early. Now that different people would have different waking up times. However, Robin Sharma emphasizes over here to wake up early, and he takes a uniform timing standard of 5 a.m. Now, why does he take up 5 a.m. and why does he preach that waking up at 5 a.m. has has this importance in our life? Now, it results to increased creativity, doubled energy, and tripled predictability. Now, when we wake up late, we are always in a rush. We are always trying to accomplish major tasks at a smaller amount of time. And because of that, a lot of other things in our mind, in our body, they take a backseat. We tend to put a lot of important work at the back burner, because we wake up early. What Robin is preaching, we have enough time at our disposal, and because we have this enough time at our disposal, we tend to have increased creativity, we get doubled energy, and we have triple predictability. See, what happens is when we are waking up late, we already have a bank of limited positive strength and limited energy, and by the time we hit the lunch hour, we have already exhausted this positive strength and limited energy. If we wake up at 5 a.m., what happens is our prefrontal cortex, which is the major part of the brain which does the most of the processing, is kind of inactive at that point of time. And because the prefrontal cortex is inactive, what happens is that a lot of things that we are worried about, it automatically goes at the back of our mind, and we are then connected to a different standards. We're connected to different realm of humanity. And that is the importance of the 5 a.m. waking up, and that is where he builds up in the earlier part of the book. What also happens is the body secretes dopamine and serotonin. So dopamine and serotonin are known as the happy what is that word? It's the happy hormones. These are the happy hormones of the body. And when the body secretes more dopamine, it secretes more serotonin. The body feels good. The body feels better. And once that starts to happen, and then when it starts to happen on a periodic day-to-day basis, we then start to become a good human being, a better human being. What is the second learning? My second learning is, see, it's what do you do when you start waking up at 5 a.m.? As I said, a lot of people might already be following a routine of waking up early. However, what Robin Sharma does, he gives a very practical, a very conceptualized, and a very structured way of going into the morning routine. And he divides the first hour of your morning into 20-20-20 routine. Now, what he does, he asks to follow this routine, and he divides this entire hour into 20-20-20 minutes, three slots of 20 minutes each of different activities. Now, the first activity that he says is the first 20 minutes that you wake up, the first 20 minutes in the hour should be dedicated to strenuous exercise. When you're working on a strenuous exercise, that's okay. That's okay if you're late. No worries. We are discussing this book. I've got a comment over here, and I'm replying to that. So when we do a lot of strenuous exercise, we we are given another hormone, okay, and this hormone is known as the brain defined neurotrophic factor. It is protein BDNF. Now what protein BDNF does, it repairs the neural connection and builds new cells. It what it does, it repairs your neural connections. Your brain is, gets those impulse, it gets those inputs through the millions and zillions of neural connections in within your body. So what does protein BDNF does, it repairs all the neural connections, and it also builds new cells. And when those cells are being built, you are given a chance to have a better understanding. Your intelligence improves. You have a better creativity. You have a better sense of imagining. You get into real good productivity because your brain has a better power of thinking. And see, not only your outer body is affected in a good way from exercise, it your brain also gets the protein BDNF, and it starts to work in a very productive manner. So that's the importance of the first 20 minutes in the first hour of your day. The second 20 minutes is where you keep yourself at peace. Now, Robin Sharma says that you, in those 20 minutes between 5:20 and 5:40, you need to connect to yourself. You can either meditate, you can also have a journal, where in your journal you can keep all the goals that you have for yourself. You can revisit your goals, your personal goals, your physical goals, your mental goals, your financial goals, your social goals, your spiritual goals. You can go through these goals in those 20 minutes. You can also reflect on the day that is coming up. You can also, because you have those 20 minutes to think about those important things that are coming up, you are able to better perform those tasks in the day. So you keep yourself at peace, you meditate, and when you connect to your creator, again, it highly benefits you because you are then connected to the source of energy. The third routine in the 2020 routine is upgrade your mind. And over here, he says you can either read books, you can listen to audio tapes, you can look out for videos on YouTube, which has positive effect on you, and that is where those first 60 minutes need to be used. See, when you upgrade yourself, you upgrade, do strenuous exercises, you upgrade yourself, you keep yourself at peace. You see, you are then getting into a routine of following a habit where a lot of successful people, see, you look at the lives of any successful people in this world. I am sure they are doing these three activities in their day. Anybody. I was reading the biography of Richard Branson, and Richard Branson said that the first hour of his day is dedicated to meditation, it's dedicated to exercise, and it's dedicated to listening to people, mark my words, to listening to people that he wants to be like. So you also need to listen to people through audiobooks, through their books. And if you want to become like this, you need to connect with them, you need to associate with them. And one of that initiative is this one. I am trying to associate you with the best of the minds in the world. Okay, I'll go with a sip of my coffee. Okay, now let's come back to the learning number three. Now, there is a twin cycle of lead performers. Now, what does this twin cycle mean? Now, this twin cycle means is all the successful people in this world, they will never overlook the importance of the balance between work and rest. See, what you need to understand is that overworking yourself is not the path to success. You let's compare it to this: a machine that would work non-stop would give up one day. It would break down one day. And that is why it is very imperative in this world that if you want to have success, yes, you should work hard. There is no substitute to hard work. However, there has to be a right balance between work and rest. You need to take your sleep. Now, there is this absolute adequate rest is as important as any important activity in your day. It is as important as working. It is as important as drinking water. It is as important as drinking, as having food. It is as important as any activity of your day. So adequate rest, and I'll talk about how much adequate rest we should have. Now, this twin cycle of a elite performer has an analogy with the farmer. See, what happens is when a farmer, he plants his seeds, he nurtures the crop, and then he harvests the crop. It is after that period, which is one of the most important period where he's not working at all. Why? Because he's giving the time for his soil to rest. He's giving the time to his soil to re-nourish. And at this point of time, the soil builds up all the lost nourishment that it used up during the building of the crop. So, if you talk to a farmer, he would always say that after harvesting, the time between harvesting and seeding a new crop, the time between that interval is also very important. And he would tell you that why he would give a lot of emphasis on that time as well. So let's draw that analogy and put it, and we'll implement it to our own selves. So once you've really worked hard once you have really put everything and you have achieved something, or you are in the process of achievement, when you have done the most important part of work, then you should rest. Give your give yourself time, give your body to relax, give your body to build up those nourishments. And over here, it comes the most important part. We need to start cutting ourselves from too much of useless surfing. Please understand that this particular thing is a very smart object. It's a very smart object. It has made our life very easy. At a click of a button, we get loads of information from the entire world. We are so well connected that we get first hand news within seconds. However, we are kind of imprisoned to this small object. A notification after every minute draws us back to this device, and we are clinged onto it. And in the process, we are losing a lot of time that we should dedicate to ourselves. We, if we start depriving ourselves, cutting ourselves off from this useless surfing sometimes, we can dedicate that amount that has saved with our families. We can dedicate our that time to reading something useful. We can dedicate our time to listening to something useful. We can dedicate our time to connecting to our creator. And that is why it is so important that we need to cut ourselves from useless surfing. I have put that into inverted commas. Why? Because I want to emphasize on that surfing is important. Right now you're surfing, you're listening to this feed, you are surfing. However, this might add value. God willing, this might add value to your entire personal development. However, some anything beyond this, which is just sucking you into which no worth, then it is a problem. So let's not get into this habit of useless surfing. All right. Learning number 4, and one of the most important learnings that I could draw from this entire book, is the 4 interior empires. Now, the first interior empire, so these empires, these interior qualities, that are internal qualities, these are 4 characters that we should have. And the first character that Robin Sharma talks about is mindset. And he also says that a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of transformational gurus are already talking about mindset. A lot of you and me, we know about mindset. We should have a great mindset. Of course, there is no doubt about it. We should have a great mindset. However, beyond mindset, we should have a health set, we should have a heart set, and we should have a soul set. Now let's look at what is health set. One of the people, I heard one of the people saying that you will earn only if you're alive. You would be only able to progress in life if you're alive. And that is why it is so important to invest in your health. It is important to exercise. It is important to eat right. It is important to have the right nutrients. And that is why it is also important to talk to the right people who can help you. Have a gym routine, have a coach who can help you with the right set of exercises, have a nutritionist by your side who can give you the right information about the right amount of nutrients we should take after a particular exercise. A lot of people do not even know what is the what is the food that we should eat after a workout. So that is why it is very important to have a proper health set. We also talk about a heart set. Now it talks all about your emotions. Your emotions, we need to have these emotions in check. Right? Sigmund Freud said that, and it's not in quotes. That is that is the, it's not the literal quote that I'm quoting. It says that if a particular emotion is not expressed, it does not go away. It is it is actually dug in the realms of our heart, and it would then someday would come out in a very bad way. So your emotions, you need to start expressing your emotions. You need to have the right relations with your family, with your spouse, kids, parents, friends, uh, your social gathering, your colleagues, your bosses, your subordinates. You need to have the right emotions, the right relationships, and that is what it talks about in the heart set. And then in in the fourth uh, empire, the fourth interior empire is the soul set, and it talks about our spirituality. So it's very important to be connected to our creator. uh, a lot of people who might be hearing, or who might hear this at a later time, might be atheists, and that's absolutely fine. So if you do not believe in a god, you might believe in something which is actually at a higher level than you. So get connected to that thing. You might not call it a god, and that is where it is so important to invest our time in our spirituality as well. With the combination of all these four interior empires, we will be able to go ahead in the way of success. We'll be able to tread in the path of success. And it's the combination of all these four things. So please understand, it's not only the mindset, it's only the health set, it's not only the heart set, it's not only the soul set. It actually needs to be a right combination, or an equal combination of all the four things. All right. So let's move on. The fifth and the final habit, fifth and the final learning is the habit installation protocol. Now, what Robin Sharma says is that a habit takes 66 days to be cultivated. It takes 66 days. A routine takes 66 days to become a habit. And he suggests three cycles of 22 days each to cultivate a habit. And that is where the beauty of this book lies. He actually structures everything in a beautiful way. He says there are three cycles of 22 days each. What is the first cycle? It's the destruction cycle. So what you need to understand is, a lot of us, me preaching from here and you listening over there, we might not even have a daily routine. Now, from tomorrow, after getting inspired with this talk, and or going ahead and buying this book over the internet, or buying this book over a physical book counter when the lockdown opens, and you start to follow a morning routine, a morning ritual, first 22 days are the destruction cycle. What it would do is, it would break your present habits. And when these present habits will be breaking, you would be challenged the most. You would like to give up. You would think about why you are doing it. And you would also think that it's not a good idea. This destruction cycle would challenge you the most. Once those 22 days are passed, then it's the installation day. You will slowly and steadily start to accept your morning ritual. You will wake up at 5 a.m., you will still have doubts. You will still want to crawl back into your bed. However, this is where you start fighting yourself, because now the software of your morning routine is installing in your head. And once that starts to happen, this would take about 22 days, and it would challenge you to the core. It would make you question why you're following it. It would make you question that this is a bad idea. It would make you feel that it's a bad idea. It would also bring up a thought in your mind that the entire world is waking up late. Majority of the world is waking up. Why am I doing it? And that is where you need to fight yourself. You will be fighting your inner demons in the installation process, in the installation cycle. And then comes the integration cycle. This is where you will start feeling good about your routine. You would start having fun. You would be doing it with a lot of ease. You would be doing it with a lot of finesse. And once you start enjoying it, right after 66 days, this would become a part of your life. And then you will be actually talking to people about this entire thing. And then over here, Robin Sharma says a very interesting thing, and it touches my heart. It touches a chord with me. It says, "Any change is hard at first. Pick up any change. Pick up any change." I remember that day when I first wore my turban. I guess I was in the first year of my college, and that was the first time. Uh, it's not that I had not worn a turban earlier, but it was the first time that I was wearing my turban daily, and it was such a paradigm shift in my entire routine. I was not able to even conceptualize the kind of weight that I'm carrying on my head. It used to pain over here, because ask any sick boy who is transitioning from his teenage headgear into a turban. It pains like anything over here, right over here, and right over here. However, I remember that after a few days, the pain was not there, and I was still tying the turban with the same amount of pressure. I was doing it with the same amount of pressure, and now it takes me 5 minutes to tie my turban, and I can go with my turban the entire day. So it was hard at first. It was messy in the middle. I used to continuously do like this every day, and for the first, I don't remember if it was 66 days, but after a point of time, I did not even care that there was a turban on my head. It became a part of it, integrated into my lifestyle. And that is why it says the third part is integration. It integrated into my lifestyle. So it's hard at first. The change is hard at first. It's messy in the middle. It's gorgeous at the end. I love tying my turban right now. Right? So accept change, and that is what he's trying to say. Well, so it's in summary, what have we learned today? The first learning is, what is the habit that separates you and a billionaire, and that habit is having a morning routine. If you can inculcate, if you can cultivate a morning routine, I'm not saying from this uh, forum that you will become a billionaire. What I'm saying is that you would be able to accomplish something worthwhile in your life. So start having a morning routine, and then in that morning routine, have a 20-20-20 routine. 20 minutes for your strenuous exercise. You should sweat. 20 minutes of connecting with yourself, connecting with your creator, meditating, going through a journal, going through your goals. And the next 20 minutes should be upgrading your mind, reading books, listening to audio tapes, listening to the who's who, the achievers of the world. Learning number three, the twin cycle of elite performers, the right balance between work, hard work, and rest. You need to give equal importance to sleep cycles as well as you give it to your working cycle. Hard working is important. No, there's absolutely no difference when it comes to importance of sleep cycle and okay. So you need to give equal importance and ask the farmer what is the importance of the time between harvesting a crop and planting a new seed, and he will tell you what is the importance. Learning number four, the four interior empires. You should not only depend upon your mindset, you should not only work on your mindset, you should also work on your health set, give importance to your health, your heart set, give importance to the emotions, give importance to your relationships, and be able to put your emotions into foray. All right. And the soul set. Give time to spirituality. Give time connecting with your creator. Uh, go to temples, gurdwaras, masjids, and churches. Okay. And what is the fifth learning is the habit installation protocol. The habit installation protocol tells us that it takes 66 days to install a habit. And the 66 days are divided into three cycles of 22 days each. The first cycle is the cycle of destruction, where you destruct your old habits, you let go of your old habits. The second 22-day cycle is the installation where the new habit is taking its course. And the third cycle in the installation protocol is the integration, where it is that's where you become totally prowess with your new habit. It gives you total ease. Okay. So that was the small summary of the 5 a.m. club. And that shows us to why it is so important to have a morning ritual. You need to get into a morning ritual. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for spending time, taking out time and listening to this live feed. I am sure in going forward, I'll be able to bring you more books, summaries that would help you race ahead in life, that would help you become a better version of yourself. And if there is any feedback, please feel free to send out this feedback to me so that I can be able to make this interaction even better. I would also like to share that I am also open to your suggestions of books that you want me to bring up. This has already gone live on the Facebook and on YouTube. So you can put in your comments in those feeds, and I'll be happy to take up that entire thing. So let's let's look at it once again. Thank you so much for joining in, and I really appreciate that you were able to take out time. With the promise of coming back next week, I will be giving you my goodbye. I pray for your well being. I pray for the well being of your family. And we will soon connect very soon in the next week. And from there, we will talk about a new book. We'll talk about the new summary. And we will be able to bring about new changes within ourselves. With that thought, thank you so much for joining in and have a great day ahead. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.